hate to be that person, but my mom just got out of court yesterday. She's fighting for custody over her 2 kids with her abusive ex-husband. She doesn't have a lawyer because we don't have money like that, and he does. So he has a better chance of winning custody over the kids, but he really doesn't know how to take care of kids. Like, I have story times of what he used to do to my mom and me. He doesn't know how to change their diapers. He doesn't know their doctors. He doesn't know their teachers. He doesn't know anything. He would literally watch the kids and then say they, like, you know, went number 2 in their diaper. He would wait till my mom got home to change their diaper. Like, and my mom would literally just go to the store for like 20 minutes. He'd never even watch those kids. While he was, he would be at home playing on his Switch and letting them do whatever they want. Anyways, what I'm getting at is just watch the video until the end. Like, fast forward it, because the money I make off of this video is gonna go towards a lawyer for my mom. The only reason he wants custody is because he doesn't want to pay child support. It's not even about what the 2 kids want. Like, he really can't be a parent, because when we were living with him, my mom and him got divorced, and he moved in with some Brazilian, took my mom's car away, and then kicked us out of his house. Did you want your kids to be on the streets? Like, I don't. So we had to move to Delaware, and he also wants custody because I guess he doesn't want to drive 2 hours to see his kids. Like, he literally did not watch the kids at all. He'd go to work, come home, go upstairs, do whatever on his phone, and just have my mom do everything. My mom literally did everything. Like, he cannot watch kids at all. He's not even the right person to be watching kids, because he's like insane. Like this is the same guy telling my mom, like, oh, you chose the wrong time to get pregnant, wanting custody. Like, but thank you for watching. If you stay till the end, that really helps.
Story time on the craziest girl at my high school. And I don't mean fun crazy. I know you guys have been waiting for the story times, and I'm finally all done with high school. So I'm gonna start doing like one really good one a week. I'm only gonna tell these stories from my personal experience. I don't want to spread like any false information, any false rumors. So if I don't know, I won't be sharing the information. But what I do know is that this girl came to our high school. I forget which year, but she came to our high school. She was all the rave. She was super pretty. She seemed to be super nice. I think I know why she came to our school, but I'm not for sure, so I'm not gonna say it. I never really had a big run-in with her until my best friend at the time started dating her ex. I always have heard things because she went through a lot of friend groups, and there was just always some kind of drama attached to that, you know? So anyway, my best friend starts dating her ex. They broke up. She said she didn't cheat. He said she did. She said, I don't know what's true, but basically he meets my best friend, and when I tell you, these 2 together are the perfect couple. I can't even explain. Like, they're so in love. They're gonna get married. If they don't, I don't believe in love. This girl also gets a boyfriend around the same time. They're both moved on. Great. No, not great, because she's not. She keeps finding ways to text her ex, which is now my best friend's boyfriend. So, you know, it's unsettling. They're a happy couple. Leave them alone. He never answers her. He keeps blocking her. Eventually gets to the point where she literally is texting him through her friend's phone. She like sent him a song that like reminded her of him. I'm just like, what? You have a boyfriend. I remember my friend showing me like a DM where she was like, my mom saw you driving today. I was thinking of you. Like, what are you doing? Anyway, it gets to the point where she literally texts him through her friend's phone and is kind of like blackmailing him to talk to her in a way. I'm not gonna say why, you know, those are her reasons. That's not for me to talk about on the internet. And my best friend is hanging out with her boyfriend, so, you know, she stands on business and is like, look, if you need to talk to him, like, I'll be right here on the phone with him, but you can call if you need. So the girl's like, never mind. So it's just kind of at a point where, you know, she has a boyfriend. She shouldn't be texting her ex, so this is where I come in. I'm very good at confrontation. I'm also very good with my words. So me and my best friend sit down and we type a long letter for her that's very nice and direct. It wasn't mean whatsoever. The worst part was the end where we were just like, look, if you need help from your ex, we're gonna have to screenshot these texts and send them to your boyfriend, because what is going on? She reads the text, but she doesn't answer it. And of course we go to school that week and hear that my best friend apparently sent her some mean text. Obviously no one believed this because, you know, my best friend at the time is so unproblematic. Literally no one batted an eye when she said something. No, it goes mute for a while, and then we're at the point where my best friend's boyfriend needs his clothes back from this girl. So my friend texts her the first time and asks, and she's just like, well, why doesn't my ex pick it up? Then my best friend fought back and said he doesn't want to waste the gas. So she pulls the I'm not home right now, which is fine. So my best friend texts again and asks for the clothes again, and just saying that she'll swing by to grab them if you leave them on the front porch. Swings by, no one's there. She doesn't get out of her car. There was really no response response, so she just kind of went on with her life. And the girl then said she gave away all of his stuff, which didn't make sense for reasons, but I don't want to get the story wrong, so we're just gonna continue. Anyway, this girl's mom ends up texting the girl's ex's, my best friend's boyfriend, and the whole thing is kind of complicated, basically saying that my best friend and her boyfriend's little sister were like harassing this girl. Just everyone knows that that's not true. This girl's mom also called my best friend a horse. Like, what? Sorry, but if you're over the age of 30 and you need to talk crap about high school girls, what are you doing? Her mom has literally made so many girls feel bad about themselves, like almost bullied out of friend groups. Like, I know this is a fact for sure because I have witnessed it, but regardless of the fact, this whole thing just goes on for way too long, and I'm like walking in the hallway behind her and she just doesn't care about who's around her, I guess, because I just hear her talking about this whole scenario completely wrong. Like, she's telling the story. Oh, I messed up on those. Telling the story so wrong and calling my best friend a fan. My best friend doesn't even say this girl's name, let alone act like a fan. And I made a story time about that whole kind of interaction as well, but I've been very careful about the story times that I share because I did it once to this other girl. Actually, that girl might top craziest chick. I don't even know. I'm not gonna say that because that's mean, but I did do like a story time about homecoming drama, and she made it seem like I was bullying her because I was calling out all the bullying I went through being her friend. Like, what? That'll be another story time. I just don't understand. I'm trying to do these as graceful as possible because, you know, like, I'm not a mean person. I don't like to talk bad about people, but I'm not afraid to spill the truth. And like, right out of high school, no one probably knows who I'm talking about, but basically this whole encounter with this girl lasted like a year and a half, I swear. It's like she forgot me and my best friend at the time literally like lived through each other. Like, everything I knew, she knew. Like, it was like our lives were one, you know? So pretty much the craziest part of all that was just the fact that she still had a boyfriend. It's one thing if you're still hung up on your ex and like you miss him and are trying to ruin someone's relationship, but you have a boyfriend. And there's been other weird allegations with that relationship, but that's not for me to talk on. But I'm ready to go. I actually really like my makeup today. I think it looks super cute and summery. So I hope you guys have a great day. There's a little story time for you guys. I hope you like it. Peace out. Love you. Bye.
My best friend's boyfriend just gifted me the most inappropriate birthday gift and asked me to use it with him. Story time. Okay, so the other week was my birthday. We're not going to talk about how old I turned because I don't want to be reminded of that, okay? And I decided to have some of my closest, nearest and dearest friends round. Really, really blessed with my friendship group, and especially one of my best friends. Let's call her Natalie. We've been best friends before we could walk. Like, it's literally been like one of them friendships. But a little while ago, Natalie got a new boyfriend, and to be honest, I don't really like him. Let's call him Mark, and Mark definitely gives me the creeps. He gives me the heebie-jeebies. However, he made Natalie and makes Natalie so happy. I can't be that friend that's like, he's weird, you can't date him. And one of the reasons Mark gives me such like the creeps is because he makes such weird passes to me. Am I being self-absorbed and like reading into this weirdly? I'm not. Anyway, I still invited him round for my birthday for Natalie's sake. When they both came round, obviously Natalie had a present for me. However, Mark also had a present for me. Natalie was laughing when he was like, oh, I've got you a gift, because she didn't know what it was. We just thought it was hilarious. I'll accept, obviously. Now, I am just so happy I didn't end up inviting my parents or family to this little get-together, because when I opened Mark's present, and I can't say what it is, but it was extremely inappropriate. I want to tell you, but I can't tell you the name of it. I, as a girl, would use it. Maybe in certain situations. Okay? Maybe if I was a bit lonely. You get it. You get the gist. And he gifted me this with my boyfriend sat next to me. Everyone's mouths obviously dropped because why are you gifting me said item? And then his response to everyone questioning why the hell he just gave me this was, I thought you would find it useful and I'd quite like you to use it in front of me. Speechless. And to be honest, I just froze. I didn't actually know what to say. My boyfriend definitely handled that situation. I'm just so shocked.
about my extremely creepy neighbors. So a little background information, I was 12 years old and I was in 6th grade, and my family and I lived in a really small town where everyone knew everyone. But our new neighbors had been building their house next to us for the past 4 years. And finally, when they were done with the house, this house was huge. I mean, probably because there were like 8 people moving into the house. There was the mom, the dad, 4 kids, and their grandparents. So like 8 people. But I was super excited because I was like, okay, this is awesome. I get to meet some new friends. But after 2 weeks of not seeing anybody playing in the backyard or anybody on the school bus, I started to think that their family was super fucking weird. And everyone in our neighborhood liked to gossip, and everyone was saying how they barely see the people who had just moved in. So my mom decided to take one for the team and make some brownies, take them over to the house, and I ended up going with her. So we go up to the house, we knock on the door, and one of the kids came and opened the door, but the dad ran over and grabbed him, like for part 2.
Things that I would never say to my kids if I were a parent. Because I said so, I think kids deserve a reason why they should or shouldn't be doing something. A lot of times, parents that say, because I'm your parent, are just power tripping because they know their kid has to listen to them. Your kid is more likely to understand why you said no and listen if you give them a reason why. You ruined my life. I don't care how mad you are, there is zero reason you should be telling your kid that. You're my favorite kid. I think it's so weird when parents pick favorites out of their kids. Kids already fight for their parents' attention as is, and by telling one of your kids that they're your favorite, you're literally telling your other kids they're not your favorite. I'm in the middle of a conversation while I'm literally just texting on my phone. I will never say this to my kids because be so for real, a text can wait. It makes your kids feel like that tiny little box in your hands is more important than anything they have to say. How do you not know that? I really don't feel like this should be said to anybody, especially not your own kid. It makes people feel dumb. Just explain it to them so they do understand. You were such an ugly baby or kid. You should never tell your child that. It's just hurtful.
All up in the block, saying we met at the bar. When I don't need it, you know you are. Saying we up in your house, saying I'm up in your car. But you in LA, and I'm mad at your mates. I'm up in the A, you so lame. And no one here even mentions your name. It must be the weed, it must be the E. Cause you be poppin', heard you get it poppin'. Why you so obsessed with me?
My sister's husband is the love of my life. Story time. Growing up, it has always been my sister and I, and also my parents until they passed on. So I can say confidently that my sister is my best friend and she absolutely means the whole world to me. Okay, to be fair, she meant the whole world to me until she ended up marrying the man that I love. Give me a few minutes, let me explain to you how exactly this happened. Growing up, my sister and I lived in the same street as this man who was so fine. I say man now, but then he was like a teenage boy. We were growing up at around the same time. We went to schools at the same time. We saw him graduate and move out of that place because he ended up studying abroad. And that's where us seeing him ended, because after that, we just simply forgot about him and moved on with our lives. Because remember, this guy was not really dating any of us or talking to any of us. He was just one of those people that you see in the street. Most of the time, I would actually tell my sister how this man is so handsome and he's my crush. My sister would just brush it off because we were so young. Obviously, what else could we do? 2 years later, when this guy, who called Zach, came back from school, my sister told me that he had sent her a friend request and they had been talking about his school experience, what he's doing in life now, and just catching up on what they had missed out on each other's lives. According to my sister, apparently he told her that he sent that friend request because he remembered that we used to live in the same street when we were younger, so he just wanted to see what she was all about now. When she told me that she was back to talking to Zach, honestly, I was a bit offended, but what could I do? It's not like they were together just yet. At least that's what I thought anyway. Anyway, as time went on, obviously Zach was attracted to my sister. They ended up starting to date, but it has never really settled well with me, but I accepted it in that moment, not knowing that this dating would actually lead them to marriage. When Zach and my sister, who we call Fatima, started to date, I started praying upon the stars that hopefully they would break up. But that if Zach were to break up with Fatima, I would definitely be next in line because I believe that my sister and I look quite alike. Though people always thought Fatima was the prettier one and this would get to me. But I knew for sure that I did stand a good chance with Zach. After Zach and Fatima being together for a year, on their anniversary, Zach decided to propose to my sister, and this was probably the saddest day of my life because I just couldn't believe that I had lost Zach just like that. She even made me maid of honor as if she was just trying to spite me because for sure I knew that my sister could remember that I used to talk about this guy so much. And to make matters worse, my sister was the one who was never interested in this guy. I would tell her how he's nice and they should get together, but all I wanted to see is if she approves that this guy is equally nice. But I never intended that Zach and my sister should actually get together. Though I regret it now because I really believe that Zach would end up breaking up with Fatima and I would be next in line. I would sideline every other man that wanted me because I wanted to be ready and prepared when Zach finally broke up with Fatima. I want to be found in a situation where I'm with someone else and Zach is finally single. Anyway, obviously for me that was lost time and I was willing to do anything to recover it, even if Zach was now my sister's husband. I don't know if it was fate or just life trying to help me get my man, but a few months after my sister and Zach got married, we did end up losing our parents. My mother died a few months after my father, and we believe it was just because she was going through so much and she was just sad about the whole issue. So personally, I believe that what could have killed her is the depression that she was going through after the loss of her husband. Honestly, I was sad about the loss of our parents, but you know how they say what's yours will always find you? I think losing my parents was a way to actually find my Zach. Because shortly after losing our parents, remember I said my sister and I were the only kids. So it meant that in the house that I lived with my parents would only be me left, and that just didn't make sense. So my sister offered that I should move in with her. Honestly, I'm so glad that she offered that I move in with them because this finally set my plan into motion. Within just the first few months of being around, because my sister and I was so close, I would always be found with them. Most of the time I would third wheel them, and you know, this was always hurting me every single time. Whenever I could, I started to find a chance that I could spend time with Zach by myself. And like I said, this man was definitely mine because I was the one who was first attracted to him. When I started to spend time with him, I don't know if Zach is naive, but he just never noticed that I was trying to lure him into loving me a little bit more than my sister. And remember how I said what's yours will always find you? That definitely happened because within a few months, Zach and I started to do things that you shouldn't be doing with your brother-in-law. Of course, it was nothing intimate, but what I mean is Zach and I would be together, and when my sister calls, Zach would make sure he finds the best lie possible for her not to suspect where he was or who he was with, but the whole time he was actually with me. So apart from just wanting Zach, I wanted for the first time ever to at least prove that in certain areas I'm actually better than her, and the man who wants her can equally want me. She's not the only pretty one. The best way to prove that my sister isn't the best or better than me, the only thing that I could do is obviously get her man. Honestly, some things I was just doing to spite Fatima. Not that I was even better than her or she was better than me, but the fact that this is how society had wired my mind, I did actually have something to prove. So the best way to defeat someone who thinks they're better than you is to do something they can do way better than they could do it if they could even do it. And for me, this was by giving Zach a child. Fatima hadn't given him a child just yet. She was saying she still wasn't ready and she was still trying to get over the death of her parents. But I thought, you know what? Since she can't do it right now, I might as well do it for him. So as we speak, I'm actually carrying Zach's baby. He doesn't know it just yet because I'm also not yet too sure if this is his baby or not, but I believe that it's his. So as soon as I confirm that it's his baby, I'm going to open up to him and tell him of the news, and I hope he's going to be very happy. Hopefully this way I'll be able to replace my sister. Call me Delulu if you want to, but I mean, sometimes Delulu is the solution. So yeah, this is what has been working for me. But just in case this fails, please let me know other ways that I could use to get Zach back because I definitely love this man. And I lost some good time trying to wait for him. Hopefully he would get over my sister, which never happened. Also, my sister just thinks she's far better than I am. So I might as well prove her wrong. Okay, I don't know if the person who sent this story is actually okay up there, but I wanted to tell it because I don't think she is. But I can't tell her that directly. So I want you guys to let me know if you think she's actually okay upstairs because this story does not make any sense. How can you be so proud of such a thing? Anyway, as usual, if you're in the shoes of our good sis, what would you do to get your sister's husband? Anyway, we don't judge over here, but from me to you as always, love you, bye.
Get ready with me to go and stalk my boyfriend at a festival. I bet you're wondering why you're doing this. You are absolutely crazy. I went on Instagram and I saw on an Instagram story, he thinks that I don't know, but he's there with his best friend. His girl best friend. So yes, I've just informed my dad to come and pick me up. He thinks that I'm just meeting up with him and he doesn't know anything that's going on. I can't believe that my boyfriend lied to me thinking that I won't know. He said that he was out with family. Like what? You're clearly not. He's been at this festival for like 3 or 2 days and I've just found out. By the way, if this is on your FYP, make sure to comment FYP in the comments because I'm following everyone back. I had a weird feeling about this anyway because he left me undelivered for like 5 hours. I'm sorry, but what kind of sick joke is this? Who leaves their girlfriend undelivered for 5 hours? Either something bad's happened or he is definitely cheating on me with his girl best friend. Which if he is, it's his loss and it won't go well, I'm telling you. Because in school I was getting sick of it and I was back to the girl, but I didn't because I got stopped by a teacher. But the rumours was that they both liked each other. What? Let me know in the comments if you think that he's cheating or not. I don't know what to expect with going to this festival and I hope that he's not cheating on me. Like, why the hell would he actually go with his girl best friend? And he obviously didn't tell me that he was going there for obvious reasons. Like, why would he not bring me and then take his best friend? I don't get it. His girl best friend. He probably thinks that I don't know about it all, which I do, which is stupid. But anyways, let me know if you want a part 2. Love you so much. Goodbye.
Trends that never should have existed. The water bottle cat trend. I know some people will say it's not that deep, but the water was pretty deep in your cat's nose, wasn't it? If you've ever had water forced down your nose, you'd know it hurts, so I don't know why you'd want to do that to your cat. Lead in Chromebooks, because kids for some reason like to set things on fire. When I was in school, we drew on ourselves with Sharpies. We weren't trying to set the school facilities ablaze. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for those too when you damage them, so you're honestly just making things worse on yourself and on your parents. The chapstick trend. I've seen so many comments about this specific trend on my other videos, and I agree, this trend should not exist. Please, please know that you are loved and you are important. If you are thinking of participating in this trend, talk to someone if you can. If you genuinely feel like you have no one to talk to, call the hotline 988. You are never alone. You are always wanted here and you are always loved even if you do not feel like you are. I promise. Just because your chapstick is finished does not mean you are.